in your story yesterday, you talk of extorting men. Do you care to elaborate on that?
Yes. So basically all the tactics that are used in sales and marketing these days, the way that was even developed is because that was originally the feminine gifting. That was how we were designed to make sure we got our needs met from men. We would do these if we had to. If it came down to survival of us and our children, we learned how to be a little manipulative, how to extort somebody to get a loaf of bread to feed our babies or things like that.
That's your sinful nature being just that, like, we
I
have
don't,
that in
I
us.
would just, I wouldn't call it sinful. I would call it survival. I mean, we are weaker. We're weaker. We have the babies. We get abandoned sometimes, or the man dies, and we're on our own, and we're just left to our own devices. We've had to become, what does the Bible say? It's as shrewd as, what is it?
See how far the termites have spread.
I'm basically thinking of the concept of innocent as doves, but
Shrewd as a snake, but innocent as a dove.
Yes, and that's honestly, what I can understand is that not everybody's had my experiences.
Aside from the justifications for the extortion, can you tell us precisely how you extort men?
That was just one example. Okay, so I had this boyfriend for 6 months, wealthy business guy. I don't do these things where I have guys take me on dates and all this. If it's a man I vibe with and I enjoy his company, I just go to his house, or he comes to my house. We eat a burrito.
Yeah, that's not what you were saying in the beginning at all.
Okay.
You got your burrito.
You guys took some lines I said, and you took it way out of context.
You said that you consider yourself a dude. How could they possibly misconstrue that?
I said the energy exchange of tit
Is
or
that
tat.
of a
Is that of a
How could they
prostitute?
misconstrue? How did they get that wrong?
Oh, man.
Because
Even
the word prostitute connotes a woman on the corner who is so desperate she will anybody
That's
for
what
money.
you
But
are.
you're literally
That-
saying
I don't
what
fuck
you said
anybody.
you were. You said you were that thing.
That's
You
what
said
you're
I am
literally saying.
Your exact words
I
were.
understand
I
because I
am
like-
just like a prostitute
Right.
as far as energy goes.
Because I love to
Censor it.
bring up these things
too many
and help
people
people
gone
to
from that angle.
understand how constrictive they're being with their particular language.
Yeah, if only they could be like you describe yourself
What's
as.
the
Then
difference?
their life would get better.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. This wealthy businessman that I extorted, okay, I could have been requiring him to date me, to be taking me to nice dinners, to take me on trips. I could have required that. I could have said, this is the stuff I like to do, blah, blah. I'm not about that. So instead, I would go to his
naturally,
house.
to be honest, if you were
Can I
really feeling
finish? I would
See
go
how
to
it
his
feels?
house. We would have like free dates. He got to sleep with me. He got to enjoy my company for 6 months. I needed to move out. He co-signed for my apartment, and in so doing was like, I got you. I got you. You need
Right.
something. And he
It was
like,
an exchange for
There was
your
an exchange.
vagina. You're
Okay.
sleeping with him, right?
It was more of a friendship thing because we had
Are you sleeping with him?
not anymore.
Well, yeah.
But you were?
I was up until my life transition. I moved out. He co-signed for me, and
your
we
vagina,
split ways.
there was monetary exchange. That's called what? What is that called?
I got my own apartment. I did it myself with my own money. He simply co-signed because there's these, you know,
can
gotta make
label
three
it as
times.
friendships.
Okay,
but it's
can I just
whatever.
ask the
Yeah,
panel
whatever. I don't
question?
care.
The whole panel. Real quick, hang on. Raise your hand if sleeping with a man so that he pays your bills, you consider that to be prostitution. Please raise your hand.
I thought it wasn't, sis.
Well, then we're done.
I'm
That's the
simply
end of it.
I am simply
That's the
saying.
end of it. That's it. That's it.
I am simply saying.
He's simply saying.
Even there's tons of wives out here prostituting themselves out to their husbands who
No,
they
that's
don't
not
love.
how that
prostitution.
works.
They don't love them. They're not even probably sleeping with them, yet
No.
the bills are getting paid and they stay
Bills
with the man.
getting
I
paid.
have tons of friends
So
doing
you're
this.
saying, hang on.
gonna be
Listen to the way you have to qualify this in order to make yourself look better.
I'm
You're
not. I
literally
don't
saying,
give a shit. Yes, I'm at the corner.
relationships where a woman stays because she has no choice. She's prostituting herself to her husband. Now, let me ask you the counter to this. If a woman is with her man and she loves him and he's taking care of all of her bills and she, in exchange, is staying at home taking care of his children. When he gets home, he has a hot meal, kiss on the cheek,
Yeah.
and she just adores him. Is she a hooker?
No,
Straight
that's a
up.
different energy exchange. That's not a tit
Yeah.
for tat. That's
so
a
then
love.
you are a what?
I'm a what?
You are a what then,
Right.
by that logic?
Okay, so I'll explain it this way. Right now in my life, whether we call it I'm in a dating phase, a non-monogamous phase, or a prostitution phase, until I meet the man who there is that love where it's not tit for tat. It's just I meet your needs because I love you, and you meet my needs because you love me. That's it.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that a woman who is not a prostitute, who's high virtue, has more of a chance of meeting a man who would fulfill all of those needs that she wanted versus a woman who is a prostitute?
Not necessarily.
Oh, come on,
Come
girl. You know you're
on.
lying
That is
right now.
just
You're
logic,
freaking
like,
lying.
I'm just simply telling you my definition of
your
is
definition
different than
is.
yours.
It doesn't matter what your definition
It's apples
is.
and
We need to
oranges.
work-
Then we can't have the
No,
conversation.
you
This isn't
can paint it
reality.
Why
as
not?
something
Why can't you have
else.
the conversation? It sounds like you're obfuscating and running away from it.
I'm
Do you
simply
think it's
saying
more
orange juice,
likely
but it's
or
still
less
water.
likely?
Y'all have a
There can only be
different
one answer.
definition of
Hang on.
prostitution.
They're
There can
here to tell
only
us
be
what
one
men like
answer
and
to
what
this
men
because of
look
the
for.
law of logic, the law of
I
excluded
literally
idol.
speak to men
at a
all
time.
day,
One
every
at a
day. I
time.
know exactly
What
what
I
they
was
want.
going to say was they're literally
okay.
coming from a male's perspective, telling us what men look for, what they like, what they don't like, and then you're saying, well, but I do this and it's fine. If they say they don't like that, you're not going to find a good man. I'm sorry.
These are not my type of
It doesn't-
guys.
They're not
Oh.
the only men
You
that
like
think
the
this
look.
way.
Yeah.
You're not that type of girl.
Wait, hang on. Earlier
Didn't
you
you
said
just say
Brian
you wanted
was
to date him?
perhaps
Well,
the
I do.
type of guy.
I'll put it to you this way. Obviously, we already established.
Wait a second. You
we would
said
not
that
be in a
Brian
marriage.
was your type of guy
Oh,
earlier.
the
saying-
switch up, I'm telling you, no
I'm
foundation.
saying I would enjoy getting to know Brian. We might have some sort of a
Oh.
dynamic going. Obviously, he's not going to pick me for his
And
wife.
let me ask you a question. How much would
That's
that cost
fucking
him, sweetheart?
disgusting.
Hang on. How much would it cost him to get to know you?
Oh, to be honest, I would hang out with him after because I have appreciated his communication skills, his ability to work through conflict. I have appreciated
That's
it.
an endorsement.
No.
I
but
have
before
enjoyed
you,
the energy
Before you knew him,
exchange.
how much would it cost him to hang out with you?
It would
Wait,
be free
let me
because we
answer.
already went through the cost exchange.
I'll answer. Would I?
Yeah, Brian, would you?
No, I.
Did you charge?
Of course not. Of course he wouldn't.
No!
Listen,
God!
I can even speak for Brian on this.
No!
There is
God,
no
please,
way.
no! No!
It's not always a
No!
money value. Sometimes
Oh,
it's just
no,
the
there's
respect.
no way. There's not enough gold in the world. There's not enough tea in China. There's not enough countries you could give. There's not enough coconuts on the island. There is no possible way Brian would ever think twice. Just say. Just say.
Yeah.
Well, Brian.
Tell me I'm wrong, Brian. Go ahead.
That you would that no amount of money would make it to where you'd
We're all looking
be
at
open
you.
to that.
Open to what?
Her.
Open to what?
Her
Oh.
legs.
I mean,
Because
I
that's all
want to
she
be
can
polite.
offer. Oh my God.
I want to be polite, but I mean,
Be honest.
yeah, that.
I want to go home.
Like, so my thing is that a lot of guys will make exceptions. They'll be like, well, I wouldn't marry her, but I wouldn't sleep with her. The thing for me, though, is I'm not interested in a one-night stand, so I don't, and I'm not saying this to me, I don't know why Andrew's putting me on the spot here. You're putting me on the spot. I wouldn't even want to sleep with you once,
I'm not the one night stand type either.
unless your rent's getting paid.
But yeah, you started this whole
Yeah.
conversation saying
And you were
everything was
proud.
transactional.
It's okay, a lot of girls
everything.
wouldn't fuck me. Like,
Like,
But,
but
you,
now
you
you're
don't
going back
understand.
on your
The
word.
only
It's fine.
guys
It's not a
who
big
are
deal.
paying any sort
I'll
of
take the
rent
L.
are
I mean, you're
men
being
who have
honest.
had whole relationships with me.
I know, but the point is that you started off this whole conversation saying that you only give time to men if they're giving you something.
Okay,
giving
but
you
it's not always
transactional.
money.
So
it's
if-
not always money. It could, like, for example.
But it's something.
The reason
something. You
why,
have
for
to-
example, I would go, for example, just to get to know you better, because I appreciated your humility and correcting your mistakes and your conversation skills. I'm not saying we'd sleep together. I'm not saying there would be ever any money or I would expect him to pay for my meal. I'm simply saying human to human. He is a person. I wouldn't mind getting to know a little better. That's
So
all.
would you give up your OnlyFans for a good man?
Of course I would. Of course I would. If he really wasn't comfortable doing it.
But what's the difference
Like,
between
give
that
you
and the best
everything you
friend?
wanted?
What do you mean the best friend?
The best friend. Sorry.
A big
Not to
difference.
put it- But like, so you would say no to your for your
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
but then why were you so against the saying no to your
Because we're
best
talking
friend?
about a job in a way that I make money versus a relationship. values.
Whoa, what the hell is that?
It's
that's
it's
totally
people
different.
versus
Yeah.
money.
I'm
But
not gonna
you
cut off-
extort people, so you can't say you value people.
Everybody extorts people.